Welcome to this explainer. If you're a focused learner looking to master German efficiently, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're breaking down a really practical, incredibly common area of the German language, talking about your health, your well-being, and how to communicate with the doctor. But to actually do that, we first have to crack a very specific grammar code. So get ready for a step-by-step journey that's going to take you from being confused by German sentence structure to confidently booking a medical appointment. Let's get started. Now, if I asked you to just naturally translate I relax into German, your first instinct might be to just look up the verb for relax, which is entspannen, and say, ich entspanne. I mean, it makes perfect sense in English, right? But here's the catch. In German, that sentence feels completely unfinished. It literally leaves a native speaker hanging, just waiting for the rest of your thought. To fix this, we've got to master our core topic for today, reflexive verbs. In German, you don't just relax, you relax yourself. Ich entspanne mich. So here is our roadmap for today. First, the grammar of reflexive verbs. Second, well-being and lifestyle. Third, symptoms and the body. And fourth, writing to the doctor. Okay, let's dive right into part 1, the grammar of reflexive verbs. So what exactly is a reflexive verb anyway? Simply put, it's a verb that requires a reflexive pronoun because the action reflects directly back onto the subject. Think of it like looking in a mirror. You don't just relax, you must relax yourself. I know it sounds a bit self-centered in English, but in German it's just good grammar. The person doing the action is also the one receiving it. When you say ich entspanne mich, you're literally saying I relax myself. The action of relaxing is directed right back at you, the speaker. It's a foundational concept that completely changes how you build sentences.
The formula for this kind of rigid German sentence structure is built in 4 straightforward steps. Step 1 is your subject, ich. Step 2 is your conjugated verb, entspanne. Step 3 is your reflexive pronoun, mich. And that's followed by step 4, the details, like am Abend for in the evening. Now, German loves its rules, and one of the absolute strictest is that in a main clause, the conjugated verb stubbornly stays in position 2. Even if you switch things up and put the time phrase first, saying something like heute entspanne ich mich, the verb entspanne absolutely must stay in that second slot, with the reflexive pronoun usually following closely behind.
Now, what's really interesting about this chart is how surprisingly simple the pattern becomes. At the A2 level, you're mostly going to be using the accusative forms. Notice how ich becomes mich and du becomes dich. But look at the third person. Sie, es, and the formal sie all just use sich. Fun fact, sich actually acts as a grammatical catch-all for plurals and formal speech, which saves your brain a ton of memorization space. It's incredibly repetitive, and that actually makes it much easier to lock down.
But we do have to address the biggest stumbling block for A2 learners, the dative case. Consider this simple comparison. If you say, ich wasche mich, I wash myself, you use the accusative. But if you say, ich wasche mir die Hände, I wash my hands, why on earth did mich change to mir? Well, it's because we added a direct object, die Hände, or the hands. Whenever you introduce another specific object into the sentence that receives the action, your reflexive pronoun is basically forced to shift into the dative case. It's a subtle shift for sure, but mastering this difference is what makes your German sound incredibly natural.
Moving right along to part 2, well-being and lifestyle. Let's start with a fast-paced vocabulary blast for physical well-being, or körperliches Wohlbefinden. To talk about a healthy lifestyle, you're going to need phrases like gesunde Ernährung for a healthy diet. You might say, ich esse Obst und Gemüse, I eat fruit and vegetables. Or, für mein Wohlbefinden trinke ich viel Wasser. For my well-being, I drink a lot of water. You can also mention Sportstreiben, to do sport, or ensuring you get genug schlafen, enough sleep. These are really your basic building blocks for discussing health routines. But hey, health isn't just physical, right? Let's shift gears to mental wellness, or mentales Wohlbefinden. And this is where our reflexive verbs really shine. You might do meditation or Atemübungen, breathing exercises. You can say, ich konzentriere mich auf meine Atmung. I concentrate myself on my breathing. Notice that reflexive mich. You might also enjoy Musik hören, listening to music, taking a digitale Auszeit, a digital break, or Zeit mit Familie verbringen, spending time with family. Picture this. You're sitting in a German-speaking exam and they ask what you do for your health. You could easily say, für mein körperliches Wohlbefinden trinke ich viel Wasser. Wenn ich Stress habe, konzentriere ich mich auf meine Atmung. Do you see how perfectly that flows? You're using high-value vocabulary like körperliches Wohlbefinden and combining it flawlessly with the reflexive grammar, konzentriere ich mich. This is exactly the kind of structured, impressive response that examiners and native speakers absolutely love to hear. All right, part 3, symptoms and the body. First things first, you need to know your geography. And by that, I mean the geography of the human body. Here are your absolute essentials. Der Kopf is your head, der Hals is your throat, der Bauch is your stomach, and der Rücken is your back. We've also got das Auge for the eye and das Ohr for the ear. A highly practical way to use these is with the phrase tut weh, which simply means hurts. So you just say, mein Kopf tut weh, my head hurts. Easy, right? Next up, we need to pair those body parts with actual illnesses and symptoms. You might catch die Erkältung, a cold, or die Grippe, the flu. Your symptoms could include Fieber, fever, or Husten, a cough. You might also experience Schwindel, dizziness, or Übelkeit, nausea. Knowing these specific terms ensures you're fully prepared to describe exactly what's ailing you to a medical professional without having to awkwardly rely on hand gestures or translation apps. And this brilliantly illustrates a super crucial difference in how Germans express illness. When you say ich habe Kopfschmerzen, you're expressing a physical pain that you actually have. Notice that Kopfschmerzen, meaning headache, is usually used in the plural in German. Literally, I have head pains. But if you say mir ist schwindelig, this translates to I am dizzy, but literally it means to me is dizzy. You use the dative mir to describe a physical state or feeling that's happening to you. It's a vital distinction to make your German sound totally authentic. Which brings us to part 4, writing to the doctor. Look, writing a formal email in a foreign language can be intimidating. I totally get it. But we're going to treat it like a modular plug-and-play formula that basically guarantees success. Step 1 is your betreff, the subject line. Step 2 is a highly formal greeting. Step 3, you clearly state your symptoms. Step 4, you ask for an appointment and inquire about costs or insurance. And finally, step 5, you sign off with a formal closing. Honestly, if you follow these 5 steps, you just can't go wrong. So what does this look like in practice? Well, a perfect A2 model email starts out with Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, which is the standard polite way to address a clinic when you don't know a specific name. Then the clear request. Ich möchte gern einen Termin in Ihrer Praxis vereinbaren. I would like to arrange an appointment in your practice. Then hit them with the symptoms. Seit 3 Tagen habe ich Kopfschmerzen. For 3 days, I have had headaches. It's so effective because it uses a clear, formal structure, directly states the problem, and respectfully sets up the inquiry for an appointment. So, the absolutely crucial point before we wrap up today's lesson is solidifying our core grammar rule. Watch out for this incredibly common A2 mistake. Ich entspanne mich is correct because the verb, sich entspannen, uses the accusative reflexive pronoun. Ich entspanne mir is just wrong. Remember, you only use the dative mir when there's an extra direct object in the sentence, like washing your hands. Keep that rule in mind, and you will easily avoid the most common trap learners fall into. By the way, if you're a self-learning student looking to systematically build your confidence, like we did today, you can continue mastering German step by step from A1 all the way to C1 with the structured support at Falowen Learning Hub, backed by the Learn Language Education Academy. You can check them out at falowen.app to keep improving your writing, speaking, and grammar every single day. To cap off today's explainer, I want to leave you with a quick question to test yourself right now. Was machen Sie für Ihr Wohlbefinden, Ihre Entspannung und Ihre Gesundheit? What do you do for your well-being, your relaxation, and your health? Seriously, try to answer that out loud right now using at least one reflexive verb. Challenge yourself to actively apply what you've learned today to your own life. Thanks for focusing in with me.